Hello and welcome to this weekly Forex review of AK trades for the week of February 24th to March 1st. We're going to start by reviewing some trade ideas for the past week and also some new trade ideas that we have for this weekend and on. Here we see in the US dollar, Canadian dollar. Uh, This was a trade idea that we discussed last week. As we were seeing in this chart, we're seeing that the pair is making lower highs. We're seeing after this drop, this pullback make this high, and then this other pullback make a lower high. So this is what's giving us an indication of a movement down. Last week, we were around this area. We told you that there were two ways we can enter this trade. Either put in a sell stop order around this area or waiting for a pullback closer to this rejection area, which you did quite nicely. Hope you got some good pips around there. But continuing with this week also, we were discussing last week that a good point of exit for this trade would be around 131 around this bullish trend line in the daily chart, because this could be a high probability area where buyers could enter to make up the price pull back a little bit. So this could be a good place to either exit entirely or just taking out 70 to 80% of your position. But if we see this trade in the daily chart, as we were discussing also last week, we were seeing that the pair were showing like a step ladder pattern. We see how this major drop occurs, then the price went into a correction of this trend line, then it breaches, and then again is doing again kind of like this same pattern. So we might expect also a good drop. So if you're already in this trade, I will advise you to take out some of your profits around 130, 131, around this bullish area, maybe 70 to 80% of your position, and then wait, because this could turn into a nice swing trade. If we see price breach that bullish trend line, we want to see breaching this trend line and then accepting price below it before looking for opportunities again to enter a long-term trade that could bring the pair at least to 122. So this could turn out to be a great long-term trade or swing trade. So if you're already in this trade, as we advised last week, you can take some profits around this bullish area and then see how price unfolds to maybe enter this big swing move. So this is an interesting trade idea. Moving on, we're seeing the US dollar franc, the Swiss franc. Last week, the trade idea was we want to see some rejection around this green area, which we did quite nicely, and then price moved lower, and currently price is correcting part of this down move. So what we're expecting to see, we want to see, if you're already in this trade, we want to see price reach this correction to the downside, hopefully, and take either all of the profits or at least 80% of the profits around 99.41. And why? Because originally this trade, we were seeing it drop even lower around areas of 98.84. So when prices fall down around this area, this could be a good place to take some profits, because it might this might be an area where buyers will try to defend their positions. But once you get some profits here, we want to see price reach this support line, start upsetting below it, and then making another down move. So this also could be a two-part trade. Very interesting. Moving on. Also, a trade idea of last week. Uh, we will we want to see uh, a price pullback to our green area, and then we wanted to see the breach. This was last like 2 weeks ago. If you enter here, where you are in a great position. If not, last week we were talking about we want to see the breach of this trend line and some kind of accepting prices below it, which it did quite nicely before this down move. And then prices again were correcting around this area, and we start to see the beginnings of another leg to the downside, which is hopefully will push prices to around 86.21, or at least to make a double bottom. And then once prices reach this area, we start evaluating again how we would play this pair. But this is developing quite nicely. uh, Now we're seeing the light crude oil futures. Um, we talked about in previous weeks. Um, in previous week, we had a short idea around this area because we thought the oil could remain in this range for quite a while. Around this area, prices reacted to the downside very nicely, but we came up a little short of our prediction or testing the lower part of this range. And now, these weeks, we saw how price moved out of this range quite definitely. So we are not looking for shorts in oil, at least not at this time anymore. We are looking for long trade. So what do we want to see for enter this trade? Well, if we see this all this area here, this whole area were an accumulation of buying orders. So let's see how the volume profile behaved around this all of this accumulation. What do we see? Why do we say that it's an accumulation of buying orders? Well, that's because of the later move that occurred to the upside. It's quite evident now. So, what do we want to see to enter this trade in the long side? Well, we want to see a pullback again to our green area here, that which will take us to the edge of this volume distribution, which buyers would definitely try to defend this area. Or if the prices pull back a little bit lower, then we might see prices go down to 53.80, 52.50, maybe around this area. So we are seeing two levels. Sorry. We are seeing two levels to take it along on oil. We want to see prices drop around here, maybe do this, and get to the edge of this volume distribution before going to the upside. Or if prices retrace a little bit further, we want to go to this area around the point of control of this volume distribution around 52.90, and then start looking for some weakness and go into the upside. So we are mainly looking for long in oils because of this clean breach of this of the range where oil used to be. And finally, We're going to discuss the Canadian dollar versus Japanese yen. This is a quite simple idea. You just want to look for shorts in this pair. If you see the 4-hour chart, if you see the 4-hour chart, we see how around all of this area, price, people accumulated selling orders because we can see this very big drop to the downside. So we can say that around this area, the majority of orders were to the downside. So the point of control is around this area, around 84.79. So we are seeing now price pull back around this point of control. So basically what we want to see is prices get to this area. Let me show you. Get around this area. And we want to see some weakness in this area. It's not like price reach there and we go to the downside. No, we want to see prices reach and then start to fail around this area. Either pin bar, or if you go to the lower time frame, see some structure, some head and shoulders or double tops. So that would be quite nice to see there. If if we see that weakness around this highlighted area, we want to go and enter. Let's say we can enter around this area. We can see a trade around, and we want to see profits around 80.35, and with a stop loss around 86.47. So this would be an almost a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So this could turn out to be a quite nice trade. So that's been all for this weekly Forex ideas. I hope you enjoy the videos. Remember, you can follow us on Instagram at AK Trades and also in YouTube. We are leaving weekly videos with trading ideas. If you have any comments or inquiries, you can put it on the comment section. We'll be happy to respond your any doubts. I hope you have a great trading week with a lot of profits. So see you next week.